talking about how you do not have to be a celebrity to make a difference, to make some change in this world. You can be just who you are. I am so excited that I get my free session right about now. What tools would you have to offer for someone who is dealing with emotional health?
Thank you for that, Judy. Oh my gosh, that really hits my heart.
Mental health is kind of like, don't touch that. It's like taboo.
And then all of a sudden, the person said, no, it's Spa Tracy. And I'm like, oh, they're talking about me.
You ladies are bringing it. I like it. We're going to celebrate. We're going to talk about the things that we're doing and the things that we're going to continue to do to inspire this world. So have a great night, y'all. Thank you for watching. Make it a good day because you can. See you guys soon. Hey, y'all. How you guys doing out there? Happy Friday. I am Chantel Denise, and I am so glad that you're spending your Friday with me. You guys, I have a very lovely guest that I want to bring on. She's a mom coach and a self-care advocate. And I have just watched her on social media do her thing. And I just said, girl, I have to have you on this show because she's got so much life in her and she brings so much to the table. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to Michelle Wright, y'all.
Hi.
Hey, lady.
Hello.
How are you?
I am excellent. I am so happy to be here with you tonight.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Oh my goodness, Michelle. Well, Facebook and YouTube, this is a woman who I feel has so much life in her and brings so much joy. You remember where we met, Michelle, right?
Yes,
We
I
met
do.
through Live
Yes.
Your Vision, Julie
Yes,
Landy.
Julie
Remember that?
Landy. Yes,
And
yes.
when I saw you back then, I was like, I got to get to know this lady. I got to get to know her because she's bringing it. And just some of the stuff that you were teaching us the first time I met you was so life-changing for me because it helped in so many ways. But we'll get into that as we talk. But before we do that, I would love for you to tell the people a little bit about you, what you do, who you are, what you like, your hobbies, all that good stuff. So why don't you go ahead and tell the people who you are?
Well, I am Michelle Wright, and I am a mom life coach and journal coach. And so basically, you will find me on the dance floor any time of day. I love my 90s hip hop and R&B. I
Yes.
love my first cup of hot coffee in the morning. And currently, right now, my family and I, we just made a big move and we are in transition and just reimagining our lifestyle right now. So it's a good time.
Woo. Where did you move from and where are you at now? Can you tell us a
Well,
little bit?
yes, we moved from Long Beach, California, and now we are in Las Vegas, Nevada. So it is a life-changing move for us. This is something that we feel called toward, and it's our God move, we call it. So it's a very powerful time for our family.
I love that, girl. You know, when God directs us somewhere, it's like go because there's so much more to where He's sending us. So I love that you said that. Thank you for sharing
Yes.
a little bit about your background and who you are and all of that stuff. You want to jump into these questions, girl?
Yes, girl, let's do it. Let's get it.
Okay, so you know, one of the things that I have loved about you is that you have this kind of this movement, this mantra called life-giving joy, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
I want you to tell us a little bit about that. What is life-giving joy? What does it mean? And how did you come up with that mantra?
Well, life-giving joy is all about intentional, inspirational connection in a mother's life. It is all about really doing those things that make your heart and your soul smile. It's about the ongoing nurture and nurturing of what makes you, you. That is life-giving joy.
Wow, thank you. Oh, when you said making your soul sing. Tell
Making
me,
your soul, yes,
tell me a little
smile,
bit more
sing.
about that. That sounds
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah. It's really about, I really believe that it's important for mothers, all women, but particularly moms when we're raising our kids, to really still remember who we are, because it's very easy to just be all about our children. It's a very giving time. We're pouring our caregiving season of life. But I think the best gift we can give our family is really knowing what lights our fire from the inside out, and really being responsible for ourselves, being that grown woman that says, I'm going to own my own life-giving joy.
Ooh, I like that, Michelle. You know, speaking of our children, I know there's some moms watching right now, but one of the things that you just said is so key, because if the kids don't see the spark inside of us, I
Right.
mean, where are they going to learn it from? They're definitely not going to learn it at school. They're
No,
definitely not
ma'am.
going to learn
No,
it, at the grocery store,
no.
because I mean, not to say that there's not people out there, but we know that the best teaching starts at home. So
Yes.
I really
Yes.
appreciate you sharing that. And when you talked about our hearts, our lives, where we can sing, I'm a singer, so that kind of speaks
Yes,
to me
girl. You
right
can sing. You can sing.
there. So yeah, so I really like that. But you had mentioned about how, avenue of really helping our kids to see our own spark. How do you teach your kids this life-giving joy? Like, give me some examples, like if you had to share what it is that you actually do to inspire them in that way.
That's a great question. Something that I just posted about this on Instagram, because my daughter, she turned 6 this month. And something that really lights her fire is painting. She loves art. It's something that really speaks to her. And honestly, I have learned by watching her just
Mm,
the importance of doing what you're excited about, really having those spaces in your life, even if it's just an hour a day, 30 minutes, whatever, where you're just doing something that is just about your joy.
mm,
And when I took her to class, I mean, from the time we woke up, she's just, I'm excited, mommy, I'm excited. And it just really, it excited me. And it made me think deeply about, Michelle, what excites you? What makes you sing? What makes you dance? What makes you get happy and excited about
mm,
life? And so I think for me, my kids have been a great motivator and teacher for me. But I think how I embody that is really asking myself, I ask myself this every day, Michelle, do you feel connected? Do you feel connected to what you're doing? That is a question I ask myself daily. And I ask my kids, do you feel connected to what you're doing? Do you feel inspired by what you're doing? And we talk about that. So they know, like, what does that feel like? What does it feel like to be connected?
mm,
Getting in touch with that for themselves. And then they see me, they're like, man, mom, you seem happy today. You seem excited about this. I'm like, I am excited. I'm
mm.
excited about doing this. So they know mama needs to do that because she's excited.
That's a good thing when our kids see us excited, because
Yes.
they can easily see another side. We know
Yes,
as
they
mamas
can.
there is another side.
And they've seen
Girl,
both.
yes, yes. Um, I appreciate what you said, something that was so rich when you said connected, connected to what you're doing. I think there's a lot of people doing, I think we could do a lot. But when you spoke on being connected to what you're doing, to me, that's like being. It's like
Yes.
being present, not necessarily like there's I'm doing it because I have to do it. It's more of a I want to do it. It excites me.
Yes.
It connects my soul, my mind, my heart, my body, everything within
Mm.
me.
Girl, you
That's
got me moving up in here. Yes. Yes. Yes.
that's life, girl. That's life. I mean, it's just so important for us as mom, but as human beings, don't you think?
Yes, it's the
As
human
human beings.
experience. Yes,
Yeah.
it's important for everyone to be able to acknowledge, what am I connected to? What connects me to this thing I'm doing?
Mm.
because I was just telling my husband this. I'm really been reimagining my parenting. And I'm like, I want to parent for connection and not just for a result or an accomplishment.
Ooh, girl.
And that's my goal all this month. That's all I'm focusing on. How can I just connect with my kids? How can I just connect with me? How can I just connect with my husband? And it's just been about that, connecting to my life.
Nice, Michelle. Girl, you just gave me some help right there. You just gave me some good old help. And I know the people who are listening, that's good stuff. It really, really is. I like that because when we are not connected, it really shows up in our lives. And you can actually feel that emptiness, or like it's almost like there's something off here. It's not, I don't feel complete, or I don't feel whole. When
Yes,
you're not
yes,
connecting, there's a hole there. That's why you don't feel whole, because there's a hole, because there's no connection happening. And I've definitely known many people that have gotten into careers or done jobs for a long time. And even myself, I've gotten involved in things, and I'm like doing these things, and I'm like, why do I do what I do? Why am I doing this?
mm,
Does this really, add to my life? And whatever
yes,
I'm doing, am I really contributing? Because if I'm not really connected to it, how is it serving me or anybody else? And so
bingo,
I mean,
yes,
we can hang on that for a long time right now, but I
yes,
know we have some
girl,
more questions.
girl,
um,
that's a deep one right there.
yes,
Yes,
that deserves a whole nother conversation.
yeah,
So,
yes,
woo, I appreciate it. But being that you are a self-care advocate and a
yes.
mom, and you're talking about connection. I would say, what do you think, or what would you say has been a huge need that you've seen the most for like moms and women in general regarding, self-care? Because being connected is kind of a self-care thing, I would gather to say, correct?
Yes, yes. I like to call it soul care.
Soul care.
Soul care, because our soul, like what we are created, what God gave us. I mean, that's some powerful stuff right there to work with.
Mm,
And I think the greatest need for women and mothers in general is being willing to see ourselves first instead of waiting for someone else to see us first.
oh, girl.
Yes, that is a huge, it was big
Mm,
for me. It's something I gotta constantly, it's an ongoing. Soul care is ongoing. So it's not like a one-stop shop. It's about the
yeah.
process. It's about the ongoing development. It's about the intention. It's about the inspiration. And those words really excite me because it's about continuing. It's about being a
Yeah.
lifelong learner. It's about living with your hands open and saying, okay, I'm going to keep going through this here. And so it's about really being able to see me. Like, I don't need to wait for someone else to see me before I see myself. Absolutely not. I give myself that gift first. So that's the
Wow.
greatest need. I feel it's been consistent, and it shows up in so many different ways in every mom's life. It doesn't
Mm,
look the same, but it does feel very much the same.
wow. That is beautiful. What you just shared about us seeing ourselves first. And I love how you shared it so confidently, because sometimes people look at, oh, she's being selfish. No, it's
No.
not being selfish to see yourself first, and not being afraid to say that it's okay. Because with
Yes.
what you're sharing, this whole soul care thing, if we could see ourselves first, how much more will we take care of ourselves, so that we're actually able to take care of
Yes.
somebody else? Children,
Yes.
you name it. If
Yes.
we're on a job, how are we servicing in that job if we're not healthy, ourselves? So I
Yes.
definitely respect that, and I applaud you for even saying that, because sometimes people don't realize that. And when you said seeing yourself first, and like not waiting for someone else to see you, that is so profound, because I think that for women, we wear many hats, right? Um,
Yes,
we
yes.
also have there's a lot of competition between us too, and I don't know,
Oh,
that's a whole nother conversation there,
that's a
but
whole other show, girl. We have a
and,
panel on that topic alone.
and we don't really have to be honest,
Yes.
because what you just shared, it's so rich that we don't have to compete, because if we see ourselves first, take care of our soul care first, there
Yes.
is no competition, because you come to the table with just who you are, authentic
Mm.
and whole and rich in living your life giving joy. You know,
Amen.
so I
Say
love
that one more time.
I love that you have chosen this life giving joy mantra, because for me, when I heard it, it speaks on so many levels.
Mm.
Life actually giving joy
Yes.
from
Yes.
yourself to someone else and experiencing it yourself. So
Yes.
I think this, you might got you a movement on your hand. You might got, I'm like, just the words itself, they're so powerful. And I don't think it's just women too. Would you agree? I think that men
Oh,
have to do their soul
yes.
care too. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I've seen it in my husband's life, in the older men in my life, just uncles and older cousins, just seeing that being a man and what that means to even have that language to talk about that,
Mm,
and to do that work. It's like another level for a man, because for women it's more acceptable to have these types of conversations, I
yes.
feel. But for a man it's almost like, oh, especially in the Black community, you know what I mean, it's really a big prevalent thing. And so I see that with my husband, and just seeing him make strides to take care of himself as I'm taking care of myself, he feels like it's empowered him to do what he needs to do for himself.
Mm, nice, nice. Wow. I just think that for some reason, maybe society just doesn't even, I mean, I haven't seen any shows or any movements where there's a lot of soul care for men. I only really see it for women. I mean, I don't know,
Exactly.
have you
Yeah.
seen?
I haven't. That's a really great observation,
Yeah,
because
I haven't
I
seen it.
haven't. I
I think
really haven't.
I
Yeah.
think it's just like, oh, they'll figure it out, you know.
Right. Right.
But there's
When
a
we still
huge
figuring it
need.
out, we still figuring it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a huge need for it. I really believe that the
Mm.
men need their own soul care as well. It may show up a little bit differently for them, but
Right.
I definitely believe that they need their own soul care as well. Soul care, especially right now in our time, we're still really in the pandemic,
We are.
we're
Yes.
still really
Yeah.
entrenched in it. It's still there. So I would I would gather to say that men need some soul care right now, and the women need some soul care right now to take care of ourselves, so that all the stuff that's coming at us, we have tools to be able to deal with it. And I think that that's happened for a lot of people, where they
Yeah.
did not have the tools, and they did not know, and still do not know really how to deal with what's going on, because they're not taking care of themselves
Yeah.
first.
It's very
So
real. It's very
um
real.
it really, really is. As we're talking about this, can you tell me like something that I know you mentioned a little bit, you mentioned that you're focusing on connection.
Yes.
Tell us something else that you're doing differently that has helped you to live as a woman in this life-giving joy mantra. What is something
Mm.
else that you're doing different that make it help someone else?
Something simple that I started doing is I write myself a daily love letter or a daily love note.
Nice.
Um,
Tell me a little bit about that.
yes. So I just started saying, you know what, I want to appreciate myself more. Um, so I literally will just say, hey, dear Michelle, and I'll just say the things that I really appreciate about myself, or I appreciate how resilient you're being right now in this move. I appreciate, just giving myself that encouragement and that love. And I really feel it. Like, I feel like the more I celebrate myself in that way, I don't know, I just feel like I'm champion for the women more. I'm champion for just people more, my kids more. I feel like I'm able to be more available emotionally, physically, mentally, because I'm taking that time out to say, Michelle, what do you need? I want to encourage you. And it's something simple. And I feel like it's something that every woman can start with. Start with a love note, just a simple
Wow.
love note to yourself.
Oh, I love that,
Yeah.
Michelle. That's beautiful. And that's different from just journaling. Because, a lot of people
Yes.
journal. That's different from journaling. That's like really
Yes.
taking the time. I love how you said celebrating
Yes.
yourself, celebrating your victories, your wins, your moments where it's like,
Yes.
I really respect that about you. You guys, did y'all hear that? Because that's really good stuff. I think if everybody can write a letter to themselves, really acknowledging the good that's in their life, because you got a group of people out there
Yes.
beating themselves up right now too. But if a lot of people can just acknowledge the good that's there, and I like how you say that, Michelle, I appreciate how you handling this smooth. It's almost like
Yes.
your sidekick.
Yep.
I
Yep.
like
Exactly.
that. Ah,
You gotta have your own back. You know what
you
I'm
know
saying?
what? So
You gotta
I'm
do it.
gonna do that one.
Yes.
You
Yes.
gotta have your own back. I like
Yes.
that. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, girl, for this. This is really good. Thank you, Michelle. I'm gonna segue a little bit because there are some people who have put some comments in here, and I kind of want to hear what
Oh,
they have
okay.
to say here. So I want to share a little bit that. And so someone said, "Yes, girl, all those good things. Love that first cup of coffee in the morning. Um, life giving joy, intentional, inspirational care. Um, love making making your soul sing." Someone put, "I love it, Michelle, so true. We don't realize it when we're in that season of life, how much we are neglecting ourselves. We are
Mm,
so much richer when we create her own life-giving joy as a mom." Nice.
yes. I
Um,
love that. That's
do you
awesome.
feel connected to what you're doing? Yes, to do it on purpose.
Mm, yes.
Someone said really good stuff.
Mm.
Someone said, write a book, Michelle. We need
Yeah.
this.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I would agree. I would
Oh
agree.
my goodness. Oh my
Uh,
goodness.
Someone said, connecting is beyond important. The whole is real. Soul
Mm.
care, you're on point. Men
Wow.
need soul care too. Someone
Yes.
confirmed that. Great information, ladies. Soul care, wow. And then someone wrote, as a man, we often hear of the middle crisis. It seems that men really need to practice more self care and soul care in the course of life so that crisis
Mm.
can be minimized and a healthy living maximized. Nice. And
Mm.
someone
That's
said that they love
powerful.
the love notes. I love it. Ooh, I love the daily love note. That is so powerful, and I'm going to do that tonight. Thank
Oh,
you,
that's
Michelle.
awesome. Yes.
Yes, so girl, look at you already impacting folks. I love it. This is so funny because you just confirmed something from God for me, because I
Mm.
started writing these little love notes. I call them love notes.
What?
Love notes.
Come on.
It's not a letter, but they're little love notes, because I was like, I'm gonna start using these for my inspiration that I do, like on my social media platforms. But I've yet to
Yes.
put one up. And so you just confirmed that I need to get on it, doggone it.
Yes, honey. Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you,
You are my
thank
soul
you.
connection sister right here. Yes. I'm
Yes,
feeling you. I'm feeling you.
and that's what I just love about you, because you are really just the words that you drop, the little inspirational quotes that you have on your page that's just basically saying,
Mm.
hey, choose yourself today, it's okay. Reminding us to stop and take a moment to self-care. Um, I see you. You're not just sharing this today, and I want you guys to know who are watching it. You're not just getting
Mm,
someone who's just sharing off a bunch of information. You're getting someone who actually does what they're talking about. So
yeah,
that, my
yeah.
friend, I love about you.
I
Um,
appreciate that. Thank you, girl. Woo! I love it. Gotta get me crying up in here, girl. Woo, it's real.
well,
It's
maybe we'll
real.
share some tears together after this.
Yeah, this is
Um,
good.
but thank you guys for those comments. Those of you who put those
Thank
comments in.
you.
I
Yes.
do want to. There's another question I wanted to ask you, and
Yes.
basically, what needs are, shall I say, what new ideas do you have about the self care industry that you could share with us? You've shared a lot of good stuff, but are there
Mm.
any new ideas? And I don't know if this is maybe going into something you're working on right now that you're going to bring
Mm.
out to the world. But whatever you could share that may
Yes.
be a new idea regarding self-care, share, please.
Yes. I feel like a lot of the things, it's more about, I really believe in making things your own. I really believe it's so important to know who you are. It's so important to start from where you are and what do you really want? What
Mm,
excites you? What excites you about getting up every day? What excites you about whatever it is? Because I feel like if you're on a fitness journey or whatever emotional wellness, different things work for different people and it's
yeah.
not cookie cutter. You know what I mean? And so for me, journaling has been a very great way for me to build a thriving relationship with myself. And so that is something I'm working on. I won't go more, I'll go a little bit, little diblet. But journaling is something I really, really believe is a great way to just check in with yourself, ask yourself those questions. And so you can walk away with a resolve, with the
Mm,
resolve with, okay, this is where I am. And it's not a shameful thing. It's a thing that you can say it's powerful. It's empowering to know where you're starting from and where you want to go. You know what
mm,
I mean? And so I
yes.
think just starting there, like it's not a new idea, but I think it's something that needs to be simmered in a little bit more. We need to allow ourselves to simmer more instead of always trying to hustle and do so much. I think
Yeah.
we need to slow down. We need to take the time because I'm a firm believer in you are worth your very own time. You're worth your time. Give it to
You are
yourself.
worth your time.
Yes. Give it
I
to
like that.
yourself. Yes, the more you can do that, you can give to others from a space that's sincere because love must be
Mhm.
sincere. That's one of my favorite passages in the Bible. Love
Yeah.
must be sincere. And I can't be sincere if I'm not giving myself some time. I'm not able to be sincere in my love. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And
And
so,
I
how
feel
is
you,
my,
girl.
you know what I'm saying? So, how can my light shine if I'm not even giving myself the permission or opportunity to shine, to give myself that shine?
Mm.
You know what I mean? So I really believe it starts there. Give yourself the time. You're worth it. You're worth it.
I love that, Michelle. That is nice. Nice. Did you guys hear that? You are worth the time to give yourself to take care of yourself. You said a word too that I want to recap. First, you said I want to acknowledge that you said that it's not a cookie cutter for everybody.
No,
And so
no.
we're coming to the situation, each of us differently, because we're all
Yes,
uniquely different, right? But you
yes.
talked about, which I think this word works for everybody, simmering, allowing yourself to
Mm,
simmer the situation, allowing yourself to journal and take the time to simmer and looking through who you really are, what lights you up,
yes,
what are you passionate
yes,
about. I don't think we
yes.
do enough simmering. And
Mm.
that's you done gave me a new word. I'm using it
Simmer.
just by the way.
Let's go. Yes.
But I think that we could really take some time to do that. And I think it would clear up too, like it's almost like that's simmering and looking at things almost like a gratitude. It takes you to a gratitude place because if you could simmer in the moment and really look at some of the qualities you do have rather than as I said earlier, beating yourself up, you can start to come in situations, showing up in places purely authentic, not worried about, you
Yes.
mentioned earlier, not getting approval for someone else, but being confident in your own skin that I am who I am and I feel good about it.
Yes.
I don't have to
Yes.
be anything else, but I do believe that taking the time to simmer and think through and write down some of those qualities, start connecting with yourself, as you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
yeah, I do think that that's helpful for everybody, whether you are a man or a woman, whether you are a mother or not. I think it connects for everybody.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
with this, what you're sharing, how do you think that, like you mentioned journaling, and you're gonna, I know you got something big probably coming out later, so we ain't gonna open that up yet, but
Not yet.
thank you for giving us
Yes.
a little bit. Um, but what do you think? Do you think that this concept of journaling and perhaps the new stuff that you're working on, how do you think it would benefit this next generation, like the young adults, the
Oh,
teens?
yes.
And as a mom, you have children and you're already teaching your children how to do this life-giving joy. How do you think this type of stuff will benefit the next generation? Can you explain a little bit of your thoughts on that, or what you see
Man.
happening and how this could benefit that generation?
Yeah, that's a powerful question. That's a really powerful question because I really see with children and even I don't have teens yet, but I've worked with teens in the past, and what I see is this deep insecurity and unsettling of self. And I
Mm,
really feel that with journaling, it's giving yourself that permission to say, I don't, when you're a teen, you don't know. You know what I mean? How
yeah.
can you know where you're going, what you're gonna do? And it gives yourself that permission to say, I don't know, and I'm not supposed to know right now. Like, and it's a beautiful thing. And I think it's an opportunity to take your time to build with yourself because relationships are about building. And it's about building trust. It's about building confidence and establishing those boundaries and those behaviors that are going to support that. And so I believe journaling is a way to start that walk, that gentle walk with yourself. And I think
Mm,
kids and teens need to understand that be gentle with yourself. You don't need to know it all. You don't need to hustle to be. You need to just, it's okay to be, especially at that age. And
yeah.
that's what I love about with what how we just live. It's just like, okay, we need to slow down. We need to stop and just look at ourselves for a moment, check in, because it's easy to just rip and run. And I've been in that where I've just been go, 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 go. But I was depressed.
Mm,
I've been defeated. I've been suicidal. I've been in just dark mental spaces. And what was missing was me. What was missing was, Michelle, who are you?
mm,
How can I really be who I need to be if I don't even know where to begin? And I think that's universal, like you said, for men, for teens, for kids. But it's like meeting kids where they are and not expecting a 5-year-old to know everything, or my son's 10 for him to know how to do it all. It's like, you be 10.
yeah.
Like just be where you are, be 16, like it's
Yeah.
okay. You don't have to make these big life decisions at 16, 18 years old, especially if you haven't had the space to check in with you first.
Mm, lady, that's good stuff. Now, I want to ask you this because you got this thing down. Are you interested in being an educator for the youth in that way? Because I don't know. I'm like,
You
maybe
know
I
that
should tell her that.
I've been asked that before, and it's something I'm simmering on. It's something
Nice.
I'm simmering in, and I'm just checking in and seeing, okay, where being willing to pivot where I need to pivot, because a direction you can start on, and maybe God may be like, this is where this is where you can be of service, and this is where
Nice.
I want you to be. So I'm open, but I'm simmering in that. I really appreciate you saying that because that is
Wow.
something that's been coming up, and I'm like, okay, God, like,
Wow.
let me
Yeah,
sit for a moment.
soon as you were talking, I was like, I got a teen over here and a preteen that I would definitely send your way. I mean, as you
Mm,
were talking, I just saw it because one of the things, first of all, I want to acknowledge and say thank you for sharing a little bit of your story. You
mm.
talked about being depressed and suicidal, and
Yes.
just it's amazing that you are the advocate for self-care because you have the experience, you understand it very, very well.
Oh,
And
yes.
so I just want
Yes.
to say thank you for letting us be so involved in your life in that way by sharing that. So thank you
Mm.
so much. But I think one of the things that is a challenge is that it is hard. I notice a lot, and me as a parent, it is hard sometimes to talk when you're talking to your teen. It's like they all think, oh, she's too old. She doesn't know about what's going on and she doesn't get it. And they really look at parents that way, a lot of teens, right?
Mm. Mm.
But I
Yes.
noticed when there's someone else that comes in, like my teen, I have a friend, she listens to her. Like we went on a vacation,
Mm.
she's like listening to my friend. I'm like, why isn't she listening to me? Like, you know, I'm feeling that, but I was so grateful that she listened to someone.
Mm.
And my daughter, both of my daughters are just lovely, lovely young girls,
They're
and they're
beautiful. They're
gonna be
beautiful. Yeah.
they're gonna be making so much change in the world. I can see it already, and I believe that they
Yes.
will. But
Absolutely.
sometimes they don't not listen to mama, and I'm like, ooh. But I appreciate you being open and simmering in that because there needs to be more and more people influencing this young generation in a
Mm.
positive way because they are influenced by what's on social media. So they're actually told that they're not pretty enough. And I mean,
Yes.
I don't know if you
Oh,
can relate to that. I definitely had that too,
oh, yes.
growing up,
Body image and all of that
all of
is
that.
real.
But they
Yes.
need tools. They need people like you who come in and say, let me share something with you. Let me share my
Mm.
story. But let me give you some tools that could help you so that you are away from what the media tells you and what your friends online are saying about you and how you mentioned earlier, like if we're happy with ourselves, if we feel good coming to the table with who we are, we don't wait for approval from anyone else. Unfortunately, that young generation, approval is everything.
Right.
Everything. And
Right.
as a mom,
Oh,
our kids want their
yes.
moms to be proud of them. They want that approval. So approval is already the lens in which how they live their life
Yes.
anyway. But
Yes.
it would be so incredible. And I'm going to be praying for you about what you're simmering in
Thank you. I appreciate that. I
because
appreciate that.
it's such a huge need. It's such a
Mm.
huge need. Wow. Well, girl, this looks like our time. I'm like, we could keep talking and going
Okay,
on
this
and
has
on.
been delicious.
This has been really saucy, juicy.
Yes.
I appreciate you, darling. There's a few more comments. Some people said here, yes, I agree. You just got called out, Michelle. Now you got to write that book. You are worth your time. Someone repeated that. Thank you for your vulnerability and truth. Take
Mm.
space to check in with self. Teens are amazing, but ooh, when they want to challenge somebody, somebody put emojis in there. Ladies, that's Lady Sarah hopped on here. Michelle Wright, so good to see you here with Chantel Denise. Thank you. Thank
Oh.
you, all of you, Monica, Charlotte Ray, Marie, also Robin, John, all of you, all Lynn. There's so many people on here. I think Gigi's on
Oh.
here. Thank you, ladies and gent, for just joining us. And this is for Facebook. Thank you, all of you on YouTube who are watching. I just appreciate you all. Please, if you get a chance, no, I won't say if you get a chance, please subscribe. I'm just gonna go ahead and put, since we're being real right now.
Okay, be real.
Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, y'all. I'm
Yes.
gonna have conversations like Michelle on there, many more. And I'm also going to be putting some inspirational stories on there for you all
Mm.
to have something that you can take with you. If you feel you need a pick me upper, go to my YouTube page. That's the Nitty Grit, y'all, on YouTube. So
Mm.
please check me out, the Nitty Grit on YouTube. Michelle, honey, darling, I thank you so much for blessing us this evening. I
Thank
really,
you.
really am grateful for all the stuff that you shared. This is one of those you got to go back and listen to, honey. This is one of those you got to go back and listen to. But could you do me a favor before we close out? Can you
Yes.
give the people, in case anybody wants to talk to you and get a little bit more information, since you are a mom coach and a self-care advocate, I'm
Yes.
sure many people would love to know where they can find you and reach you. So can you drop your handles for me?
Yes. So my handle, best place to find me is Instagram at Life Giving Joy. Reach out to me. I would love to have a joy chat with you and just
Woo!
see where we can get started.
Nice. Thank you, Michelle. Oh, I love it, girl. So you keep getting juicy. We're gonna be able to get out here. A joy chat.
Yes, a
Ooh,
joy chat.
I love that. Thank you, honey. I appreciate you. And
Thank you.
y'all, on your Friday night, what's left of it, and all the way through the weekend and through the rest of your life, make it a good day, y'all,
Mm,
because you can.
I love that because you can. Come on.
By Facebook, by YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you. You guys have a beautiful day.